Thank you for the response with that. We're going to move on, but stay in the Middle East and look at President Donald Trump, who says he hopes a Gaza ceasefire will be reached sometime next week. Speaking to reporters before leaving the White House, Trump confirmed he will discuss Gaza and Iran when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visits Washington. Trump called the recent Iran strike a great success and said the focus now is on securing the release of hostages and ending the fighting in Gaza. Netanyahu's upcoming US trip will also include meetings with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and other top officials as both sides push to wrap up a broader trade and security agenda. Well, Jordan, we of course just touched on comments by Gideon Saar. He said, we ended that brief section by looking at his comments that the war could end if the hostages are released and the fighting is stopped from Hamas. Donald Trump sounding optimistic there by saying a Gaza ceasefire deal could be made next week. Now, we've heard this rhetoric from Trump before, but do you think, given the conflict with Iran and the resolution that has come from that, do you think that Israel are more inclined to look at a ceasefire in Gaza now that Iran have potentially been weakened?
I would like to quickly add before addressing that we also heard similar claims from Biden. We have to understand what Hamas's motive here is to prolong the war as long as possible, to delegitimize Israel, and to also expose Israel's inability to protect its own citizens. It's a bifurcated process to try to delegitimize Israel, once amongst global opinion and the other amongst Israelis themselves, making themselves fear that Israel cannot protect them. Israel's done an outstanding job of protecting its own, but regarding Donald Trump's recent aspirations, he can say all he wants, but Hamas also has its own motives in drawing out this war. Israel has made very clear that it is willing to accept Donald Trump's ceasefire arrangements that would hopefully free all the hostages and hopefully also expel Hamas's leadership from the Gaza Strip. The ultimate question is not what Israel wants, it's how Hamas will respond, being a thorn in the side, being also desperate to demonstrate any power that it still has remaining, and the 25% of the territory of the Gaza Strip still under its control, and also as it competes for power with the Abu Shabaab militia group in the Gaza Strip and other militia groups that are now uprising against Hamas. So, very short in summary, it depends what Hamas wants ultimately, whether the ceasefire will be achieved. Israel has been very compliant with US expectations, and it hasn't been rewarded because Hamas continues to thwart such efforts.
Jordan Cope, thank you as always.